Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Well, good evening, everyone. A little later than usual here. We're logging on tonight at 8 o'clock this evening. Usually we're closer to about 7:45. I want to say hello to my friend Ryan Munn, meteorologist Ryan Munn, our new meteorologist. How's it going tonight, Ryan?
Good evening. Good evening. Everything's going good. I'm ready for some snow.
You ready for some?
Oh, yes.
We could use some snow. It's been an interesting winter so far. But yeah, that's why we're here. It looks like folks are just starting to pop in from Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and we'll spend the next 20 minutes or so talking about some weather. Ryan and I have been in the office this afternoon, talked with Christian for a little bit this afternoon as well. And it still looks like most of the area is going to get a solid, probably about 4 to 8 inches of snow out of this one. And, we upped it to 5 to 9, just 1 inch. And, looking back on it, I don't think we needed to do that. We're going to look at that in a moment here. But Ryan, everything else seems to be pretty much on track. We're tracking some of that snow moving in. You just looked at the radar. What are you seeing over there?
So I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like Portland, you're going to start to see some light snow, maybe a little. I would say it looks like snow right now. In the next 20 minutes or so. It depends on some dry air, though. We'll have to see if the flakes actually reach the ground right away. But, yeah, you called 7 to 11 p.m. yesterday, and that was probably the perfect call.
Oh, thanks.
Like 7 p.m. it started, and it'll continue to move up to the north and west.
Yeah, so what Ryan's talking about is a start time of a 7 to 11 p.m., and I think that's going to work out just fine. Good team effort right there, Ryan. Hey, it looks like a solid 5 to 8 inches, we'll call it. I mean, I think there'll be a lot of 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s in this window right here. Now, it's probably going to rain for maybe an hour or so just in the front end over Seacoast, New Hampshire, maybe southern coastal York County. That may hold your totals down here. Some of the latest high-resolution model imagery we're looking at is suggesting that this area up in here might not get into the 5 to 9 inch range, or 5 to 8 inch range, or whatever. But something to watch. And we're still expecting lighter amounts the farther north you go. You go into northern Kennebec County, points north. There'll be some spots here, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. And then you go to Piscataquis, Penobscot County north. It's probably a coating to an inch or two of snow. Ryan, you were looking at the overnight lows in northern Maine. What are they looking up in Aroostook County? It's entirely different mess up there.
Interesting, because the clouds are going to move in. Of course, clouds have a big impact on temperatures. If there's clear skies, that's when you're talking the colder temperatures with lighter winds. The clouds, however, are going to move in, and they pretty much already have. But you're looking at temperatures up north. I mean, 5 to 15 degrees. That's pretty chilly. If they were to see some snow, they'd be looking at a good snowfall ratio up there. But no, they're not going to really see much. It's kind of the opposite. Typically, of course, they get the snow, not Portland.
Exactly. We're looking at temperatures right now in the 30s. You talk about single digits up north, and that's obviously going to play a role in our weather as well. At last check, we looked at the observation in Portsmouth, and precip's just starting to get in there. And it's 36 degrees. They're reporting 10-mile visibility with rain and snow, which is expected. That's where they're expecting. I think there will be a round of rain in this area right here to start this out. And then we'll transition over to snow. So let's go through the warnings for you here. Oh, can I click through it? All right, that's what we're going to do. Hold on. Maybe I can get to the next graphic. Maybe not. All right, Ryan, having trouble getting to the next graphic.
That's all right.
We got it. I might have to put the good old weather system in play mode. So hang tight for a minute. We might just have to go through that again. But bottom line here is, folks, it looks like everything seems to be pretty much on track, and we're looking at probably 4 to 8 inches for most areas. Lighter amounts, Seacoast, New Hampshire, southern parts, and coastal York County. Central Maine points north, you're going to get less. All right, now we're working. Got the old clicker here, and that's working just fine. All right, there's your winter storm warning. All right, let's go back to the winter storm warning for a moment. The Weather Service issues the warnings when there is the potential for a half foot of snow or more. And these areas stand the greatest chance for maybe getting a half foot or more. Now, we've been talking about the storm all week, and I still stand by the fact that I don't think this is going to be a blockbuster. This is a pretty manageable storm. And, plows will be able to get out. Winds are not going to be extreme. We'll get some gusts, 20, 30 miles per hour, but it's not like the last few storms we had or anything like that. And to be honest with you, tomorrow, the snow, it's going to be fairly light. It's going to be on and off light snow all day long. So we're talking overnight light, heavy snow or heavier bands overnight, right, Ryan? I mean, that sounds about right with the warnings and the advisories here.
Yeah, most of the snow is going to fall between about I would say 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. So that is, I guess, good news for travelers, but not so good news for the Friday morning commute. It looks like Friday morning commute will definitely be on the slippery side if you have to come out, especially earlier in the morning. And as we've been talking about all day, it looks like thankfully the evening doesn't look nearly as bad. It still will be slick, but I think by the time we get to the evening, the snow it lightens up, and I think they'll have a good handle on the roads by then. So that's news.
I'm with you on that. I think 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. is when the snow moves out. So that might be helpful for road crews, maybe plow driveways, shovel sidewalks. When I was doing that for a job years ago, I remember saying, okay, I need to know when the snow is going to come to an end. Let's go 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the snow is just moving in. The first batch, a lot of that's drying up as it enters into the dry air, but it's also that dry air that's going to help cool the column of air that we have in place right now. We're at 36 degrees in Portland. Actually, 36. We actually warmed a degree in the last hour. But there's a little hole in the radar out here, and that's going to fill in. We're seeing some pretty good bands off to our west. It looks like it is precipitating for parts of York County now. Maybe folks can chime in on this, but the winter mosaic radar is suggesting there's a rain snow line somewhere in here at this point. But this does not look heavy. I mean, this does not have a look of like, this is going to get really, really bad really quickly, at least at this point. But with that said, though, there are some solid bands to our west. Let's go back to the radar. This is the radar in Massachusetts. Yeah, there's a lot of mix happening in southern New Hampshire right now. And that's all heading into our area, but probably in the form of plain old snow when it gets here. Again, initially, you might get a little bit of rain at the coastline. Even in Portland, I think we might start with a little bit of rain over the next hour or two, but we'll transition to snow overnight. Now, Ryan, you did a good explanation of how this goes down. What we're doing is the transfer of energy. Why don't you tell the folks at home what's happening right here with our storm system? We got one area of low pressure up here, right?
If you can circle, I was just going to ask you to circle that. You have an area of low pressure where Charlie just drew the big area of low pressure over towards the Great Lakes region. And the most important thing with this storm is it doesn't happen all the time, but this storm, it will transfer its energy to a storm system off the coast. And that's important because what you need is that secondary low pressure that you can see just to the south of southern New England. That's important because it will bring in the colder air, will wrap in the colder air from the north. As we head through this storm system, that'll happen throughout really the nighttime tonight into the day tomorrow as that storm system gets ramped up. And we are going to start to see, like I said, the snow fall, and this will generally be a snowstorm because of that secondary low pressure. As you can see, that develops to our south. If it wasn't for that secondary storm, you'd probably be talking about some rain with this storm. Yeah. So if you're a snow lover like me, you're happy that second storm develops.
Yeah. The last storm we had was not the ocean storm that backed in us. The one we had last week, that one tracked to our west, and that's why we got some rain out of it.
That's exactly what I was just mentioning. I mean, if that secondary storm didn't develop, now you're talking rain. So
yeah. Ryan's talking about this guy down in here, right in there. I like this. You do the explaining, I do the drawing. This is kind of fun.
Yeah, I like it. We work good as a team.
I like the timing of this too. Storm Tracker seems to be doing a pretty good job. Let's take it at 10 o'clock tonight. One thing I want to highlight, and I want to stress this a lot here, is the heaviest bands are going to be overnight, guys. We're talking about probably 10, 11, midnight, 1, 2 a.m. That's when we're going to be in the worst of the storm here. We're probably looking at snowfall rates 1-2 inches per hour, and then it lightens up. I mean, it's just going to be very light snow for most of the day tomorrow. And I'd be a little surprised if we got more than an inch or two of snow during the day on Friday. So I would say 90% of our accumulation is going to be overnight let's highlight maybe 10 p.m. to about 6 a.m. In that window, we're going to get most of our accumulation. We like to call this the front end thump here, with some so darker shades of blue indicate some of those heavier bands of snow. So 2 o'clock in the morning, we still have some solid, moderate to at times heavy bands of snow. Also take note, it's cooling off a little bit. I want to rewind a minute just to show you the temperature setup. This is a forecast model, so take it with a grain of salt. We have temps in the above freezing here. So we were talking about the potential for, more of a pastier wet snow transitioning to a more of a drier snow by morning. But coastal areas will probably see more of a pastier wet snow out of this one. And then eventually cools off as the winds shift over to the northeast. And initially temps are running in the 30s. We talked about it earlier, Ryan, the evaporational cooling. When you get a few raindrops, every raindrop gives up its life for the next raindrop behind it to eventually become a snow.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, so we call that evaporational cooling. If you could make a children's book out of it, that's how it would look. I don't know. That's how my mind works anyway. But it looks like we have some on and off light snow all day Friday, or at least during the morning and early afternoon Friday. Notice it's a lot lighter, and there's a lot of dry air trying to get into New Hampshire at 7 o'clock in the morning. So what we basically have is a lagging trough. The old connector between the two lows that Ryan was explaining, that's the only thing that's left over us during the day tomorrow. So we're probably just going to get this on and off light snow. It just doesn't accumulate too much during the day tomorrow. So I think I'm fine saying we're going to get 4 to 8 inches of snow, 4 to 8 inches of snow. It sounded like I said 48 inches of snow. No, we're getting 4 to 8 inches of snow. And I think it comes to an end between 1 p.m. and about 5 p.m. We'll clear it out. We'll dip into the teens tomorrow night, and then the sun returns on Saturday. And we were talking about earlier, Ryan, usually when you get a nor'easter or a storm system, a lot of times it just gets windy behind storms. And a lot of times it gets a lot colder behind storms. This one's kind of the anomaly. It's not windy on Saturday.
Yeah, you have that, you typically, as you were just mentioning, behind the cold front, you get a powerful northwest wind that can just, you could be talking temperatures that drop 15, 20 degrees, and then you're talking strong winds. But no, that's not going to be the case. Nice day for skiing. You're a skier.
I was thinking the same.
Nice little fresh snowpack, sunny skies, low 30s. Should be nice on Saturday. You
know what I was thinking? A lot when people think skiing, they say, okay, yeah, maybe alpine or downhill skiing. But I have not. I like to cross country ski or Nordic ski as well. And this is the latest in, I would say, at least a quarter century that I have been on cross-country skis. I have not been on cross-country skis yet this season. Wow. And it is the 19th of January. And I can't remember the last time it was this late. Crazy. Usually in December, early January, sometimes November, we can get on the skis around here. And it just, I don't know. I just haven't had the opportunity. There are a lot of good cross-country ski centers here in Maine, New Hampshire. So I want to give a little shout out to them. They'll be back in business, I think, after this storm. That we have in place. And Ryan was talking about how nice Saturday is going to be. The reason I bring all this up, Saturday we have light winds, a nice day. Clouds start to increase again on Sunday as our next storm starts to move in. So if you're just joining us on the Facebook Live, we can run through this again here. We're probably going to be dealing with 4 to 8 inches of snow. And Ryan and I were talking about it. Beating myself up saying, all right, why don't earlier this afternoon we said, okay, let's up it 1 inch, because we had 4 to 8, let's go 5 to 9. And to be honest with you, this is probably going to work out just fine, but we didn't need to up it. I don't think we need to up it. It's there's a lot of 4 to 8s in here.
It's going to be
4s down here. There might be some 8s back here, but there's a lot of 5, 6, 7s and 8s, I think. What do you think?
Like you were saying, how I think a lot of them, it meets the requirements of the 5 to 9, but I mean, I could see most places being 5, 6, and 7 instead of maybe a lot of 7, 8s, and 9s.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Meets the requirements, though.
A few things to watch: how far north some of that precip gets. I mean, there's a lot of high resolution modeling suggesting this area might not get into some of those bands, even just north of Lewiston, and it's a heavier, pasty, wet snow down in here as well. So, I mean, whatever. I don't know, whatever. It's one of those things where it is what it is, and we're gonna roll with it at this point. We're gonna get snow, and the timing's gonna work out fine.
Yeah, the timing's perfect.
I think the timing is going to be just fine here. But we also have another storm here, Ryan, and this is storm number 2. What, we have 3 of them, right? I'm trying to keep track of them. We have this one, the next one Sunday night, Monday, and the next one after that will be Wednesday night into Thursday. So the deal with the next one here is these are all very track sensitive storms. There's not a lot of modified Arctic air coming down out of Canada. So these storms have to take the perfect track to stay all snow. It's not like we're looking at high temperatures in the single digits and teens. And, any storm that comes up is going to give us a big snowstorm. That's not the case. And we don't really have any major blocking highs off to the north. That's one thing we look at. So these storms really just need to take a perfect track for us to stay all snow. So that's the setup to, there probably will be a rain snow line with this next one. And where that sets up, I'm not sure. I mean, nobody knows at this point, but it's going to be probably somewhere in the first, along the coastal plain. Mountains stand the greatest chance for staying all snow with this one. And the other thing to talk about with this storm, and this may be the biggest deal with the storm, will be the Monday high tide. The Monday high tide is at 11:51 a.m., so just before noontime. And the tide is the highest of the month. It is 11.5 feet. And flood stage in Portland is 12 feet. So 11.5, that's probably one of the highest tides of the entire year due to the full moon cycle. So we're probably dealing with at least minor coastal flooding as the storm rolls through on Monday. So just remember that if you live near the coastline, especially, minor flooding is probably going to be a big story on Monday. But Sunday night, Monday, rain, snow, wind becomes an issue with the storm as well. It's not like this one we have out there tonight where it's just light winds. I mean, we might get some gusts around 20 to 30 miles per hour. But
the track of course, as you know, is really important with that Sunday night, Monday too, because there is one computer model of the GFS, maybe you guys have heard about that has that storm tracking closer inland. And if you have a situation where that storm system tracks over the coast, or just south of the coast, then you have a big problem. But if it moves more over like inland areas over the state, then it won't be as bad. It'll still be strong. We'll still have problems, but it really, the track is important with that for the coastal flooding too.
Well, exactly right. You get more of an onshore wind if it tracks right over us. Yeah, so that you get that fetch off the ocean. I want that storm to track a little farther on the ocean, stay mostly snow. But I mean that's certainly on the table. We'll see what happens. And then the next one. So we've been highlighting. Let's see if I can get this here. Oh, there we go. I got the old arrow tool out, Ryan. We have one storm, just light snow tomorrow. This is not going to be a big snow event during the day tomorrow. Heaviest bands overnight, and I think the heaviest bands move out by 6, 7 a.m. Sun returns on Saturday. We were talking about how it's such a beautiful day, outdoor plans. We're in good shape. Sunday looks mainly cloudy, snow at night. And why did I put the cloud icon on? I think we'll see a little sun in the morning. It's increasing clouds. I gotta switch that. Making all sorts of mistakes with the icons here, but yeah. So it looks like we have some rain and snow on Monday, and then the next one is late Wednesday into Thursday, and it's a wintry mix probably with that one as well. And that one could take a track that's favorable for snow. It's too far out at this point. They have to take the perfect track for us to stay all snow, and that's just something we're not confident about, at least this 6 days out. So, but we feel confident that there's going to be 3 storms, right? I mean, this is pretty crazy, right, Ryan? 3 storms, 3 storms in 5 days.
Absolutely.
Ryan, before we let folks go, I mean, a lot of folks are still on here. Thanks for checking in, guys. Let's go through some of the questions real quick. Kyle says, good evening. Hello to Kyle. Good evening to Ryan as well, he says.
Good evening.
Nice having Ryan with us. If those of you that are just joining us, Ryan's our new weekend meteorologist, and you'll see him often on the weekends and during the weekdays here and there. He's going to help me out on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. And Ryan comes with us with a lot of experience forecasting here in Maine. He used to work at WABI up in the Bangor area, and up in Bangor, I should say. So this is not his first go around with Maine, so he knows Maine weather patterns really well, and we're just happy to have him here. So
excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited you're here too, Ryan. Beth says hello to you, Ryan.
Hey, Beth.
Barbie says hello. Sydney, a bit chilly tonight. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's a little chilly. A little chilly tonight. I see signs of some pretty cold air coming in the last few days of the month. So it's
Yeah,
coming.
we were talking about that.
Yeah. Hi from Unity, Lisa says. Chad, have you? Hey, it's my buddy Chad. How are you?
Dynamic duo, I like it.
Dynamic duo. Well, he's my friend. He has to say that. So thanks for saying that, Chad. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's like when your mom writes in and says, it gives you a compliment. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. Thanks, Chad. See you around town. Hello from Wilton. What am I in for? Wilton. I think Wilton is probably on the lower end of the 5 to 8. That's my guess. Somewhere around the 5 to 6 or so. Right up there into southern Franklin County. Lois says hello to Ryan.
Hello, Lois.
Cold here in Litchfield. Rob's in North Carolina. Rob, what are you doing in North Carolina? You got to come back to Maine where these storms happen. Thanks for checking in from North Carolina tonight, Rob. Hi from Brunswick. Nothing. Yeah, it'll overspread your area in a little bit. Let's go back to the radar here while we're just going through some of these questions.
I was just looking at that. Filling in a little bit right now, the radar. Just a little bit, that little lull, so to speak.
Yep. It doesn't look super impressive yet, but
no.
Yeah. I wonder if it's raining in coastal York County. So Lyman gets 13 inches. Nah, I don't think so.
No.
The snow has started in Rochester. Good. All right. So we got our first report.
All right.
Danielle, you are Daniel, you are the first report tonight. So Rochester. All right. Thank you. Yeah. We got a report of snow. Palmyra, I think you are in either the low end of the 5, Stephen Paré. You're either in the low end of the 5 to 8, or you're in the upper end of the 3 to 6 up there.
So 4 to 7.
Yeah. I think everybody gets 4 to 8. I mean, we could just go 4 to 8. Done.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to show a map. Done. That's where I was going to get. Judy says hi from Sanford. Schools are already closing.
Well, I'm curious to know if it's snowing in Sanford yet.
Right. Yeah. Let's zoom in a little bit closer on it. Well, we don't get a report to the top of the hour from Sanford. It's got to be snowing in Sanford, right?
That's what I'm thinking too. I'd like to know, but I'm more curious if it's a situation where the snowflakes are drying up.
Yeah. Yeah. What's this garbage to the west here? It looks like there's a little break. I don't know. Yeah. That's got to be hitting the ground. If it was snowing in Rochester, it's got to be snowing in Sanford.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. Lewiston's 5 to 8. I'm fine with that, Jared. Lewiston's 5 to 8. I think you're good with that. There'll be a lot of 5, 6, 7s, I think. Snowing in Berwick. No rain at all. Wonderful news. Thanks, Lacey. Love the report. Don says, batten down the hatches, bub. I like it. 'Tis the season, Dan says. Yep. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, doesn't it seem like when you say 'tis the season, it seems like the holidays were so long ago at this point. They weren't that long ago.
Hey, it's been almost a month.
Yeah, I know.
We're 1/12 of the way to Christmas.
Actually, this Tuesday, Ryan, is statistically the coldest of the year. Like when you look at the climatology, the lowest point is this Tuesday, the 24th. Yeah. So it starts getting warmer and warmer. The normals start getting warmer and warmer every day after that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lori says, I'm coming to Portsmouth on my flight at 5:30 coming from Florida. Will my flight be able to land coming into Portsmouth? Oh, that's a good question. It'll be snowing. 5:30 at night tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just going to say 5:30 at night. I don't think. Yeah, you should be fine.
Lori, you're good. You're good. Welcome home. You know what? You might not want to come home. It's
I was going to say you're going to go from 80 to about 5 inches of snow.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. You're going to be good to go over there. come into Portsmouth. Oh, I've actually been wondering, are they running commercial flights out of Portsmouth still? I took a flight. I can't remember. Was it Allegiant Air out of Portsmouth? And I went to Florida. And it was the most enjoyable experience I've ever had in my life. There was free parking. You walked right to the terminal, and it was wonderful. I'd take a flight out of Portsmouth again. I didn't know they were still doing that. I got to check into that. So thanks, Lori. That was years ago. It's probably like 5, 6, 7 years ago, somewhere in there. But most enjoyable experience I've ever had flying. When's it gonna hit Bangor? Let's see. Debbie says. Yeah, let's see. Probably midnight. What do you think, Ryan? Midnight? Somewhere in there?
Yeah, midnight to like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit later up in Bangor.
It seems to be moving very slowly. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I think when you were on the air at 7 o'clock hour, it was like just barely moving into the state, and it's like only a couple miles inland now. It's moving pretty slowly.
Yeah, it'll get in. Yeah, so we've been highlighting in our area 7 to 11. So we still got a window, pretty good window. It's coming though. Some darker shades of blue off to the west here. Let's put the whole radar on here. This is the composite. Yeah, let's loop through it. That looks a little bit better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. I like it. Everybody's throwing the main accent on. Love it tonight. How much for Lewiston? 4 to 8. I think I'm going to say that to everyone tonight. 4 to 8. Thanks, Jared. But yeah, I hope you get the 4 to 8 there. I think 4, 5, 6s. There'll be a lot of those.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be messy for Portland schools to open? Yeah, I can't imagine schools. I think there'll be a lot of schools that cancel tomorrow. Don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And it's funny, we were saying this last night in the Facebook Live. Who knows about Monday?
Yeah,
I mean, we got a storm Sunday night, Monday. We'll have to see what happens with that. But
could be another storm. You're right. We'll see what happens Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see.
Weekend.
Yeah. Oh, the kids had last Monday off.
Yeah.
Please be careful out there. Thanks for the advice, Judy, in the comments. How much in Brunswick? I think Brunswick's 4 to 8. 4 to 8's good there. Let's look at the cell phone map. There we go. We upped it an inch. We didn't need to, I don't think. If you're just joining us, we had 4 to 8. We went 5 to 9. Just brought it 1 inch. Don't think we needed to do that. So
I was gonna say, if you're just tuning in, Charlie's beating himself up for upping it 1 inch.
Yeah, I don't think we need it. We don't need it. Who knows? You watch. Maybe you'll wake up to a foot now. Do you think kids in Portland will have a snow day? I do. I think the timing works out perfect. I mean, my kids had a day off for like 2 inches a few weeks ago. So I think the kids will have the day off tomorrow. Let's see here. There's your warning. Let's take a look at that. Let's leave on the radar for a minute. How much in Wyndham? 4 to 8 Wyndham. I think that's how it's going to work. Pretty schools will be, it looks like I think a lot of schools will be closed tomorrow or remote. They're sending the kids with the iPads home now. That's always fun. They are calling a lot of schools. Shauna says schools are canceling now. Probably, everybody's talking about schools. I like it. A lot of schools are canceling. I like it. Keep up the good work, Charlie. Always appreciate. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you, Troy.
Also, welcome aboard, Ryan.
Appreciate that.
No snow, Robin says. Not yet. It's coming. Give it a little while, Robin.
Where? I'm curious where Robin is.
All right. Robin, if you can check in. I got a few more comments to go through. Bring on the snow, John says. Ryan says. Aiden says, Ryan, send some to Connecticut. Oh, this must be a buddy of yours. You know, Aiden?
I wish I could. I'm sorry, Aiden.
And Charlie is training his replacement. Ryan, you can maybe
I'm not commenting on that.
Maybe I'll go I don't know, go retire, grow pumpkins or something, and then
I'm gonna just
Ryan can be the chief meteorologist. Yeah. Nah, you're stuck with me for a little while, James. Sorry, buddy. It's fun forecasting. I mean, we're in Maine, Ryan. You've been forecasting in Maine for a while. It's fun to forecast weather in Maine.
Like I always tell people, I would rather forecast this than go out to like Los Angeles. sunny and 75 every day.
Yeah, you're right. I'm with you on that. Good evening, everybody. Be safe tomorrow, Jennifer says. About time a little winter showed up, Patricia says. Watching from Vassalboro. Ooh, I love Vassalboro. Great spot you have up there. Kennebec County, let it snow. Please let it snow. People want snow, Ryan.
All right, I'm ready.
Ryan, move where all the snow is. Exactly.
That's right.
Watching from Lewiston. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Snowing in Shapley. Oh, we got another report. Snowing in Shapley. Ring the bell. Oh, I should have a bell. That's what I need. Like, like when a waitress gets a good tip, they ring the bell. Whenever we get a snowfall report, we ring the bell. That's what's going to happen. Next one, we're bringing a bell in. Hello from Wilton, Linda. And also, Linda, into the room. Thank you for the report, Linda, from Shapley. Well, Time Witcher shows up. Everybody.
Hey, I got to give a shout out here.
All right.
I got to give a shout out. My buddy Stephen Paul, if you're listening right now, I see you just commented. You have been following me for a few years now, and you're probably one of my biggest fans on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Who is this? I'm looking for the comment.
Stephen Paul. Steve Paul. I can't pull up the comments. You're the only one that can do it.
Oh, but you know what? Holy smokes.
My buddy Steve Paul.
Ryan, we've got I bet we have 200 comments in here.
Yeah, I bet.
Sorry, folks. I can't bring them all up. Oh, boy. That's all right, though. I appreciate all the comments. Keith says he's calling 4 in Gardner. I think that sounds like a reasonable number, 456. You'll be in that ballpark there. Aaron hopes for a foot. I'm with you. York School is canceled, Becky says. Good. Thanks for checking in, Becky. Some people saying hello from Florida. All right. This is great. I don't think Ryan, I think this is the most comments we've ever had. I honestly, we'd be here for the next hour if we went through them all. Let's leave it at that. Let's go grab a quick bite to eat, and we'll prepare for CBS 13 at 11, Fox 23 at 10, and maybe we can there we go. Hey, look at that. Oh, so we can do this? Oh, that's what we do earlier. That's too much.
Back up.
That's a little bit better. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. So let's go work on the forecast. Folks just joining us, thanks for tuning in. 4 to 8 inches most areas. Heaviest snow overnight. Lightens up during the day tomorrow. Pretty manageable storm. A lot of folks, we use the scary weather warning open earlier. And I said, okay, folks, we're going to be okay. 4 to 8 inches of snow. But we'll be in good shape. So heavy snow overnight, winds down 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow. But whatever falls tomorrow is going to be very, very light. Additional 1-2 inches probably during the day, and then the sun shines on Saturday. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'll let you sign off, Ryan, and we'll say goodnight, folks.
See you in a few minutes, Charlie, and thank you everybody for tuning in.
All right, take care, guys.